My name is Judy Sullivan. I teach in Knox County at Central High School. I am a 12th grade English teacher. I happen to be a fan of the new state standards in Tennessee. I appreciate the fact that they have increased the rigor for all of our students and that all of our kids are being held accountable to much higher standards than they were in the past. I especially like the fact that writing is part of these standards because as an English teacher, I consider that fairly important, and under our old standards, all they had to answer were multiple choice questions. And I don't think that's an accurate assessment of how well our students can write. When they go on to college, when they go on to the real world, they will have to know how to write, and now they are held to those standards as well. I'm not as familiar with the math standards, but I can say the English standards cover all the things that we would want kids to be able to do. Reading fiction, reading informational text, understanding it. There's a section on speaking and listening, which is a way to help kids delve deeper into the text that they're reading, a way to make their understanding fuller. I think that's important. There's standards that deal with their ability to hold discussions, their ability to interact with other people. There are standards that say they have to be reading at a 12th grade level, which seems fairly important to me. We want them to leave school being able to do whatever the world has for them to do.
Hi, I'm Sandy Robertson. I teach AP Language and Composition at Central High School. And with the Tennessee State Standards, Advanced Placement Language has been working with those for many years now. The effect is startling on the students' writing because they have to find evidence for arguments that they make. It's much more geared toward college writing standards. In the age of Google, memorizing facts or learning just denotative language isn't what the skills they need. They need to learn how to evaluate various sources, more like informational literacy. Evaluate various sources and pull from them information that's relevant to questions that they are asked or ask themselves. It's much more critical, it's much more open to possibilities in the language, and it gives them something essential, an essential tool that they can use in any profession, the ability to analyze a problem, find answers, and create their own. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Bethany Ward, and I teach at Central High School in Knoxville. This is my second year teaching here, and I teach English, freshman English. For me, it was a unique experience moving to Tennessee and starting to teach here because the SPIs, I had to learn them, and I was prepared to teach Common Core by my college professors. So to me, the SPIs seemed oddly specific. There were very specific grammar skills that had to be taught. And the thing that I've been looking forward to most in the switch to Common Core is we're given a lot more leeway for what grammar skills we can teach because every class is different, every student is different, and I think that I like the freedom that we have with Common Core. I think some teachers were afraid moving into it that it was going to constrict and they had to teach the same thing that other teachers were teaching in other states. But really, if you look at the language where an SPI might have said, work on this specific grammar skill, the Common Core will just say, demonstrate a mastery of English conventions, and I think that leaves you so much more professional judgment to just say, this is what my students don't know how to do, so this is what I'm going to teach them, and it might be different from each semester. So I like the freedom that the Common Core allows, and I love that there's so much more challenge to it. We're reading more challenging texts, and I don't have to worry about teaching a specific skill that's been predetermined. I can see what my students don't know, and we can read things based on their interests, and I can revolve a lesson around a broader objective rather than I need to make sure that I hit this very specific objective, choose between these two commonly confused words. That's a smaller skill that we can work on, but I like that we're focused on the big ideas now in English class.
My name's Andrea Turner. I'm an English teacher at Central High School in Knox County. This is my 5th year teaching, and at the beginning of my career there was still that transition happening from state SPIs to Common Core. And so being a part of that transition and that overlap, there are definitely some differences that I've noticed in instruction focus and as well as in student learning. I would say overall, as an English teacher, the biggest shift in student learning has probably been the emphasis on text complexity. previously with SPIs, students appeared to kind of be tracked pretty early on, and then there was not a lot of movement above or beyond where they were tracked at that young age. And so what I like in seeing with Common Core is that the text complexity rigor is expected for each student. And so the emphasis on close reading passages and just supporting students in struggling with more complex texts is definitely a positive with Common Core that was not emphasized as much with SPIs. And I think students across the range of abilities are benefiting from that focus. And it's also showing them that there are high expectations for them, regardless of where they might be with their comfort zones or their ability levels, that their teachers believe that they can achieve at this higher level. And so it's been an important shift in an educator's mindset, and I think that shift is being passed on to a shift in mindset for students as well, which is certainly positive.
Hi, my name is Andrew Turner. I teach at Central High School here in Knoxville, Tennessee. I teach math, specifically Algebra 1, and one thing that I've noticed this year is that a lot of the students are coming to us stronger because we believe that the middle school is following Common Core practices, really working hard on critical thinking skills and numeracy skills that really make them better prepared for the course. A lot of the stuff that the new Tennessee State Standards have done for us has really helped us put an emphasis on context and application, as well as close reading practices that come into lengthy text that may have to do with word problems or even algebraic concepts that are a little deeper than just solving on paper. We have a lot of room to grow though. We need an assessment that really assesses what they do in terms of these critical thinking, as well as their writing, as well as their context ability. We also can use some textbooks and some online resources and just things that will get them ready for most likely an online assessment such as PARCC. But so far so good, we're getting there, we're hanging in there.
Hi, my name is Abigail Delvo and I teach at Central High School in Knox County and I teach 9th grade math. This is my 3rd year teaching. My first year was I did a co-teaching experience with another teacher, and this is my 2nd year on my own. The first year I was at Central, the old standards were still being used, and the other 2 years I've been here, it's been the new standards. So I've been able to compare and look at the differences and similarities between the two of them. When I first got here, the first thing I noticed was that many kids, they did not know any basic math facts. They did not understand any sort of multiplication or division, adding or subtracting, especially in the lower level classes. And this was a huge problem when you're trying to teach kids Algebra 1. So we had to just sort of work with what we got, and it was very hard to try to convey abstract concepts to them because they had no foundation. My 2nd year, I noticed a huge difference in my lower level kids because they had had 1 full year of Common Core teaching in 8th grade. And so when they come to 9th grade, this would be their 2nd year with Common Core, and their ability was so much higher than the previous years. And I believe that it had all to do with how the 8th grade math teachers taught mathematics to them. With Common Core, you're not just telling kids what to do, you're not saying, here's a formula, plug it in. You are teaching kids how to think. You're teaching kids why formulas are being used, why you do this and why you do that, and you're having kids prove different concepts. You're not doing as many algorithms or plugging and shoving in. It's a lot of thinking and truly understanding what's going on. Now, there are some downsides to this. I think with ELL students and SPED students, I think it's very hard, especially when you're working with trying to convey conceptual understandings. And for ELL kids who've never had any Common Core math previously because they were in a different country, coming into this new sort of style of teaching can be very hard. So that can be I think that's been very challenging for some teachers, but on a whole, I think it's awesome. And with starting in the elementary school level, having Common Core teaching all the way through, I think it's going to really help make our kids more better critical thinkers in how they approach mathematical problem solving. And so I think just because something is different in how you're teaching it, it doesn't necessarily mean it's bad or wrong. And so I think we should open up our minds to maybe looking at math in a different light than what we were taught, and see that it can actually really help students better their mathematical skills.
Hi, my name is Melissa Thomason, and I am a social studies teacher with the Knox County School District. I've been teaching social studies for 9 years, and the differences that I've seen since the Tennessee state standards have been implemented from the SPIs is that I believe with the social studies curriculum, the Tennessee state standards are a lot more rigorous, and they challenge and prepare students for higher education and moving on to higher learning. Previously, the SPIs were more what I consider to be the skill and drill and focusing on taking that standardized test. And with the Tennessee state standards that have been implemented, I believe that they offer more challenging, more higher order thinking skills. And it's not just rote memorization, memorize this fact, memorize this date in social studies. It's going to present more challenging information, looking at more primary source documents, and actually using analytical skills to study history. It also is going to focus more upon the writing skills, which then incorporates other interdisciplinaries such as English, or maybe analyzing something from a census, which is going to include mathematics. So I feel that overall, the students with the new standards are going to receive a more well-rounded education that is going to promote higher learning in the classroom.
Hello, my name is Austin Meadows. I am a senior at Central High School. I am 17, and the Common Core standards have helped me improve my writing quite a bit. I have gone from averaging about 2 and 3s to averaging about a 5 or 6 every time I write. I used to be very bad at what I did. I pretty much just summarize the prompt repetitively, and then I've grown in my ability to analyze and judge the text and prompts that I am given.
Alright, my name is Isaac Ewers. I go to Central High School in Knox County. And the new standards are, they're tough, but I think they're supposed to be. And it's kind of changed the environment from what it used to be. It's harder, but it's a good thing because it makes people focus more. And if they're not willing to work, then they're kind of like, they're stuck because you need to work. It challenges you, and if you don't work, you're not going to go anywhere. So it's, me personally, it's made me work harder. I've had to use textual evidence, and yeah.
Hi, my name is Laura Phillips. I'm in Knox County Schools at Central High School. I'm 16. And the new standards, it allows students to actually have to think for themselves. They can't just go and look up an answer in a book, and they have to use evidence and find materials to help them with their response to questions. And it just causes them to think more, not only openly, but also makes them think more seriously about what they're doing and makes them act more serious about their assignments.
I'm Blake Walker. I go to Central High School in the Knox County school systems. I feel that Common Core gives us better life applications for what we learn. Like, students go through school and learn everything, and then they go to college where they actually have to use this stuff. But now that we're learning like real life application, we can use it further on to better ourselves in this system.